Let me go ahead and set the backstory for you. Actually, you know what? I'll let this tweet describe what happened to the Division community on Wednesday. If you're watching this, you're either a die-hard fan of the Division, you might be a casual player, or perhaps maybe you just like my videos about the Division community. Anyways, thanks for clicking on the video. Moving on, the Division community hasn't had a real bright moment in a good long while, something to really sink their teeth into in the game for quite some time. In fact, it's been over 14 long months since the last real update came out for the Division 2 and 10 months since the last substantial news article, if you're gonna exclude the delay of the new content. I'm gonna go ahead and report that the Division community just went crazy over one thing, one message actually. The wait is finally over. The PTS for the new update is here, and in it we are testing the brand new game mode Countdown. I'm aiming to get this video out before the PTS actually launches, so therefore, hold on, wait a second. Future Deltah here, or perhaps you could call me editing Deltah. There's no possible way that present Deltah is going to get the video out before the PTS launches, and at the time of me editing this video, the patch notes for the PTS have released. I'm not going to go over them, as I'm sure that you have heard about them so far because other creators have talked about that till they're blue in the face, but I just wanted to clarify this. Anyways, I'll unfreeze present Deltah and he can, get back to the video. Whoa, why'd you do that, man? Bro, you were too late to get the video out. Start working faster. Oh man, you got me. That's what I do. I am from the future after all. It's hard to argue with that. Oh, by the way, do the Miami Heat make it to the finals this year? Oh, you can't tell me? Alright. This is the story of a single tweet that breathed the life back into the Division community. It's the story of confusion, disappointment, boredom, frustration, but also is the story of triumph and patience. Not only for the community, but for the developers as well. This truly is the year of the Division. Now, if you haven't heard, the PTS for the Division 2 new update is out and available by the time this video goes live, and if you're on PC, you can go ahead and try it out. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So the story that led up to this moment starts all the way back when Massive revealed that we would be getting more content in the Division 2, back with the release of Title Update 12. Title Update 12 was originally supposed to be the final update that the Division 2 was supposed to receive, effectively ending the game's support at the start of Year 3. Fast forwarding through a couple long and arduous few months of no contact from Massive, we get the bombshell update to the Division community on May 6th, 2021. I made a video about this topic in October, one of my very first Division community series videos, and it was also my third highest viewed video ever. So safe to say that this was a pretty wild moment in the Division's history. In this singular news article, by the way, that's a common theme, but in this singular news article, Ubisoft confirmed that active support for the Division 2 would continue for years to come, as well as the announcement of the long-awaited Division Heartland, a standalone PvP game that is a derivative of the Division's survival mode. Saying to this single news article, the Division was trending on Twitter, hundreds and hundreds of videos were released talking about the new updates and the announcements, and I even decided to start a YouTube channel a few months after. And overall, the community was buzzing, talking about their favorite game and the prospect of the fun times to come. After the May announcement, playtests for the Division Heartland started going out, and the allure of the game began to increase. But little did we know that this golden age of Division was so far away. We had absolutely no idea. What goes up must come down. All of that excitement was bound to fade at some point, and unfortunately, that time came a few weeks after this May announcement. The discussions had cooled off, people had started wondering when the new content was going to come out and what exactly the new content would consist of. These are all pretty natural questions, like we had known nothing about this. But this feeling of wonder led to a fair share and amount of speculation, propping up the prospects of what's to come, what we're likely to see, and at the bottom of all of the talk about the game was the sense that we really had no idea what was actually coming. I mean, we had this roadmap, but the roadmap told us almost nothing. This sentiment would continue later on into 2021 and into 2022, except for the time when the developers released intelligence annexes and that one small rework to the Striker gear set. The community showed flashes of excitement during these small periods, with content creators covering all aspects of these tiny articles that regarded the new content, and each moment like this reminded the community once again how much the game had suffered in the lack of content and in the information drought. Not only that, but it did also remind the community that there is a lot to look forward to, even if we only knew a small part of it at that moment. And because of this, people still remained faithful. But little did we know that the new content would still be almost a half year away. The summer and then the winter passed, and we stopped hearing news about the Division 2 and the Division Heartland. The only news-related things that we received, if you could even call it news, were leaks about the Division Heartland's cover art and some other small bits. None of this information was public, of course. The community really started to feel the pressure of the lack of communication by the devs, going so far as to describe the silence as suffocating the community. The lack of information was perceived as apathy by the devs by the community, despite their assurances that they were hard at work on the new content. Throughout this waiting intermission period, it got tough to be a Division fan. And let's not kid ourselves here, it sucked pretty bad. People were imploring the developers to release any bit of information, as it had been months since the last posting. It got pretty hostile out there at some points too. But the devs kept a tight lip on what was happening with the game, as all eyes were pointed to the studio over in Malmö, Sweden. Enter Yannick, the creative director of the Division 2 and one of the community-facing devs over at UbiMassive. Community members direct their criticisms and questions to him, and in the face of overwhelming negativity about the game, he remained calm while delivering bad news and good news. As a community, we expect a lot from the developers, and when it's not delivered, sometimes things aren't so nice on Twitter. The developers worked in silence to create a great product for us to play, and at this current moment, it's a great time to be a Division fan. I'm at a point as a Division fan to enjoy the new content the devs worked insanely hard on, and to put the time waiting behind me. At this point in the video, it's time to do the same. Enter March 2022. The community starts to rumble again, as it's the Division franchise's big month. Both the Division 1 and the Division 2 released in March, and the community members held out hope that the news would be revealed. Let me also remind you that this year has been described as the year of the Division, but as of right now, we haven't seen anything so far in support of that claim. So first it was the Division 1's anniversary, but that day passed with no news. No matter. That's the Division 1 after all. Of course, we're waiting for the news for the Division 2, so why would it make sense that, Division 1, whatever, moving on. The next date that the community had high hopes for was the Division 2's 3-year anniversary, but that too passed with no news. This is the point where the community members started to feel as though they should lower their expectations yet again. It started to look more and more like another passing month with no news. Disappointing, I suppose, but not surprising, many would say. A new community developer was hired at Massive and expectations rose once again. And finally, the following week, this week actually, the community was treated to another update, and this time, it was the one. And if you guessed that a random Wednesday morning in March with no historical significance to the Division would be the day that the developers finally announced the content the player base had been waiting 14 freaking months for, you'd be right. What an incredible moment. Division community is alive and buzzing. The PTS should be active right now. New content, new exotics, new gear sets, new weapons, new modes. This is what I'm talking about, this is it. This is it. As I just mentioned, the PTS should be active and ready for players to go test out on PC. So if you're out there and you're a PC player, you got the PC, go dust it off, get on and go test out those new changes. After all, it's the exciting time the community has been talking about for ages now. If you're curious as to what changes are coming in the PTS, I did a quick video about it, and so has literally every other content creator. So you've got choices. At any rate, it's time to get hyped, my friends. I'm gonna go ask Rogue Bull to do the rest of the explanation for me.
PTS is live in less than 24 hours from when I'm recording this. As I said, I will be streaming it tomorrow morning, so tune in for that. Really excited to check it out. The wait is over. I still don't know if I'm fully accepting this, that, we've been waiting for pretty much 14 months since they announced this stuff, and it's finally here. And this is just the first of many updates to come over the course of the year. Probably 4 big ones with all the major season releases. Again, go check Yannick's Twitter if you want that full quote. But yeah, content is coming. It is here, guys. Really excited for all this.
And one more thing I'd like to cover before I get out of here is the community sentiment towards the game right now. Even though we have faced adversity as a community, and unfortunately it hasn't been easy to be a Division fan all the time, people are excited for the new stuff. Twitter isn't flooded with negativity and the panning of the developers like it normally is, and most people have taken the new content in stride, allowing for the fact that Yannick mentioned that the game is set up for another full year of support and beyond. And of course, I'm by no means an expert, but I think if you give a game and a community a future, the people around the game will react positively, and I think that's what we're seeing here. The Division community feels alive and it's buzzing with excitement. You could even say it's going crazy, my friends. That's the greatest thing about this update. It's not that it's the new content release and the devs are just going to forget about it and jump ship. The devs have a full year's worth of content ahead, and that's just the beginning. And don't forget about Heartland on the horizon. And that is going to be all from me, my friends. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you for watching and sticking around. I appreciate you all so very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Also, before I forget, we have a Discord server. The link is in the description. You should be able to join right now. We've got LFGs, we've got chats, we've got everything. Anyway, y'all, go enjoy the PTS, go enjoy the new content. Everything is gonna be all right. And I will see you in the next one. Delta out, guys. Peace.